After hearing this speech, roughly 30 children from around the world will have lost their lives. And that is because every 10 seconds, a child loses their life from malnutrition. Malnutrition is when the body doesn't receive the sufficient amount of nutrients that it requires, and this is usually a result of a poor diet. After hearing this speech, you will choose to support the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, or UNICEF in short, their mission to end child malnutrition globally. I have explored various articles and websites of nonprofit organizations who are working to save the lives of malnourished children from around the world. And I've done this process in order to learn more about the topic. And after going through this process, I firmly believe that child hunger is a pressing issue that requires our attention. In this speech, I will first start off by talking about how child malnourishment is a pressing issue in today's world. And secondly, I will talk about a possible solution that can be brought up to end this problem, which includes supporting organizations that are working to help bring aid to these kids around the world. And third, I will finally be talking about the possible positive effects that implementing this solution will have, but also the dire consequences that come with inaction. And with that being said, I'm going to start with talking about the problem that is child malnourishment. In many areas of the world, young children are suffering from severe malnutrition. And in specific underdeveloped countries in the areas of sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia, kids are not getting the proper nutrition that they require in order to grow properly. And according to the unicef.org website, at least 1 in 3 children are suffering from malnutrition. And this is usually found in the form of stunting and wasting. Stunting is when a child is too short for their age, while wasting is when a child weighs too little for their age. And both of these are detrimental to the children, not only because they negatively affect their growth, but also because they negatively affect their immune systems, leaving them susceptible to premature death. And also, stunted children have their brain development negatively impacted as well, meaning that they perform poorly in school. According to the article, The 10 Barriers in Education That Children Living in Poverty Face from Phineas Rucker in 2019, he explains that by the age of 8, stunted children are 19% less likely to be able to know how to read. Also, the affected brain development that these children experience is the equivalent to losing 4 grades of schooling. And even though we might not see this issue right in front of us today, it is still relevant because the lives of millions of kids are at stake. Malnutrition is the leading cause of death among young children. According to a 2021 report from the World Health Organization titled Malnutrition, roughly 45% of the deaths of children ages 5 and below are caused by malnourishment. And this translates to the death of around 3 million kids every year. I have talked a little bit about how child malnourishment is a pressing issue in today's world, and I'm now going to move on to talk about a possible solution to this problem. We can help fight malnutrition by supporting nonprofit organizations who have pledged to stop child hunger. These organizations help by sending food supplies and educating people on how to maintain their food security. The solution aids the children directly as they receive nutritious meals through direct aid from these organizations. And also, these organizations can go to these underdeveloped countries where child malnutrition is rampant. And as presented before, educating the people in these underdeveloped areas can treat but also prevent child malnutrition. According to the article FAQ, the 6 things you need to know about childhood hunger, published in 2021 on the worldfoodprogram.org website, organizations help farmers cut their food loss by 98%, and this enables the farmers to provide more nutritious food for the children. And now that I talked about a possible solution to child malnutrition, I'm going to talk about the ramifications of taking actions on this issue, but also the dire consequences that come with inaction. Implementing this solution will bring positive effects, but by not implementing it, it would also bring dire consequences. Adopting the solution will help save countless lives. Data from the worldfoodprogram.org website shows that through their efforts, the lives of 50 million kids have been saved. And also, this number has the potential to increase dramatically with the implementation of my solution. However, by not adopting the solution, millions of kids will die. Also, the global economy will suffer as well. According to a 2022 article titled The Impact of Malnutrition from the powerofnutrition.org website, malnutrition costs businesses in underdeveloped countries up to $38 billion a year. And this is partly because the children who are experiencing malnutrition are unable to develop properly, and many die before they reach the age of adultry, before they become the age of adults, meaning that they are unable to contribute to the economy of their country. And now that I've talked a little bit about what the world would look like if the presented solution was implemented, but also if it wasn't implemented, I'm going to conclude the speech. In summary and in conclusion, in this speech, I have talked about how child malnutrition is a major problem that endangers the lives of millions of children from around the world. I have then talked about a possible solution in which we can help end child hunger through the support of nonprofit organizations who have pledged to also fight child hunger. And finally, I talked about the possible world in which my solution was implemented, and where it positively affected the world, or a world where my solution wasn't implemented and the dire consequences that came with it. And finally, what I'm asking of you today is go to the unicef.org website and donate what you can. These organizations run almost entirely off of donations, and by helping to donate, we are able to promote their mission and also keep their mission going. And hunger should not be an issue in today's world, especially with the amount of technology and resources that these global countries have. And hopefully, after today, you would choose to support UNICEF's mission in ending child hunger.